Well, good evening, everyone. How's it going tonight? I'm joined by my good friends, Mr. Jody Barrett, Mr. Matt Fegley. How are you guys doing tonight?
Little cap tip. Doing good, man. How are you?
Absolutely, I'm doing good. For those that know, I'm Matt, CEO of Amateur Players Tour, co-founder with my good friend Jody, who's the chief legal officer. I love that. That's a good title for you. So
Sounds very important.
I said, more importantly, he does the schedule for the majors, which is baller. So you should fear him for that. And we got Matt Fegley, who's the handicap czar. It is a little bit of a political joke, although you do way more work than any of the czars have ever done in the White House. So we do appreciate that.
Fair enough. Thank you. after my 2-week hiatus of crazy fun things in my personal life that resulted in this great cold that I now have, but whatever.
We promise that'll be the last joke of the night. That could get way out of line really quick in a lot of really fun directions. But
I'm not making that promise.
We've got golf to talk about, thank goodness. So Thursday night, nine big topics on the APT. Different things, we'll run through them. Anywhere between 3 minutes to 7 minutes for each one, just kind of like 9 holes in golf. Par 3s, par 4s, par 5s. Little break in between every 3 holes to talk. Chris is keeping track of pace of play. The first thing, before we get to hole 1, there are some great events this weekend all across the country. Got a full slate of events. 2025 is going strong already. Headlining that, obviously, Jody, I know you're going to be up there Monday, NCR Country Club at the North Course, which I will say this about NCR North. It is probably the most disadvantaged golf course in the country based on its location for ranking, because it sits next to 2 really, really, really great properties.
Yeah, sitting there next to NCR South, and then also having their neighbor there that just got renovated a few years ago and is top 100 golf course. It's they're have the unfortunate circumstance of being next to 2 really hot chicks.
Yeah. I was getting ready to make like a Livy Dunn joke for a second. I was like, I shouldn't probably say that. So I wasn't sure where to go. It's like the really, really pretty girl at school that sits next to the 2, supermodels. And you're just like.
Yeah, the North Course is the girl next door that is really attractive. But, yeah, when she's next to the hot chicks, she doesn't look nearly as sexy.
Yeah, but really good golf course. It was actually Casey called me today to go through some of the T-subs we're going through, and I was like, man, I really, really enjoyed the North Course. It's a really good track.
Oh, yeah,
definitely worth the drive.
Yeah, great layout, easy to play, and you still have all the great facilities there of the NCR Country Club. And you don't have to play one hole where you walk by and you can see across and see Moraine looking at you, like waving, going, "Hi, we're over here." So you can play the North Course and never be tempted by Moraine. It's great.
There you go.
Absolutely. Well, we'll try to stay out of that debate for the people in Dayton to see which is the better of those 2, because that's a heated one. It might be worse than some of the things going on in our country right now between NCR South and Moraine. So I'm not sure that. There's definitely some debate there on which is the better one. But lots of great events. Central Illinois, we've got Vince Bankern on later. El Paso Golf Club's a hidden gem in Illinois. St. Louis got an event at Far Oaks. Events all across the country. Tulsa's got a great event at Eagle Crest this weekend. It's going to be great across the APT. And getting in. So right into hole 1 is memberships. This is the last live of early bird pricing for the membership. So early bird pricing is good through Halloween. Next Thursday on Halloween, we'll not be having a Thursday night 9. We'll be having a special Friday night 9 to commemorate 4 years of the APT. So that's going to be fun. It wouldn't be a Thursday night 9 with Aldo Rucci making a dumb comment about UConn. No one cares.
Yeah, it's college football season, buddy. I know you don't want to talk about college football, but it's college football season.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Normally, as an Illinois fan, I would be all about talking about college basketball right now. But we are 6-1, and we do have a date with number 1 Oregon on Saturday. So I might want to talk about college basketball next week. But for right now, my only loss is to Fegley's alma mater and on the road, and I'm okay with that. Most wins against ranked teams in the entire country. University of Illinois, baby. Notice Phil's not on here this weekend talking about Michigan because they got smoked.
Yes.
That
With
cross country trip is tough.
With those epic football helmets. You guys did a very nice job with those alternative forms, dude. Those things looked really cool.
I texted Matt during the Illinois-Michigan game and said, these Illinois uniforms are both awesome and awful at the same time.
Yes.
This is true.
Yep.
It's all good. Chris just put in the chat. He goes, I don't know what this has to do with the 2025 membership. Squirrel. Hey, Illinois beats Michigan once every 35 years, and so we got to talk about it.
That's fair.
So there's that. But 2025 membership, early bird pricing, you can scan the QR code here to get it. $125 until October 31st. Then it goes up $10. It'll be $135. But not because we didn't give you the best set of membership benefits yet. $50 cash to the Pro Shop, which is easier to spend than ever. And just so you know, for the person that puts in the chat, we've already had 800 people download the membership card. And of that, 500 of you have already spent your credit. Nobody's having any problems with that. It is working. Thanks. Poor Jersey. She's like, I don't have time to talk to you right now because I have orders to ship out. It just keeps piling up every day, which is great.
Well, the switch over to the 365-day membership is working out great too. So, once again, those of you that sign up early, you're getting your 365-day membership. You will not get a renewal notice until this time next year, the day that you have signed up. And for those of you that wait or don't join until after the holidays or whatever the case may be, maybe you want to wait till spring, see what happens. Doesn't matter. The price will still be the same, and you'll still get 365 days of membership.
Yep, absolutely. And some great benefits, $50 credit to the APT Pro Shop, $50 to Global Golf, which we are finalizing that contract. It is through our legal process to their legal process. So as soon as that comes back, we're anticipating being able to send out the first round of those in November. So everybody's going to get $100 of cash money to spend, $50 at globalgolf.com, $50 to the APT Pro Shop. And then there's some great benefits. Like, for example, if you download the Novel membership card as a member, it's the only way to do this, just so you know, is through the Novel membership. I had to have this conversation today with somebody that wasn't a member yet. They're like, well, I just want the 3 for $30 US glove deal. Well, you have to be a member to get it. And you have to go and download our Novel membership card, which we'll talk about later in the live, so stay tuned. Fegley's showing it to you. It is great. But you can get the $30, three gloves for $30 now through the 31st of October, but you got to do it through the Novel membership card. So there you go. Gus wants to know about the Folds of Honor membership. Fegley, I'm going to let you jump in and talk about that in a minute.
Wow. Man, I love this. It's like you're on the quiz show and you're just like, hey, how about this one? It's like, all right. So now the Folds of Honor membership includes a charitable donation to the Folds of Honor. It's a way for us to help, encourage that membership. In addition to that, at the North American Championship, we've done special benefits for the Folds of Honor members. We've done the entrance into the party. We've also had we have a VIP. We didn't have a VIP room this year. We've had it in the past, so it's looking at additional benefits when we do the Folds of Honor collaborations, like the Folds of Honor Friday and things of that nature. So it's just the additional contribution there to the Folds.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and $75 donation to Folds. Question in the chat, Christian Alderucci, kind of a dumb question, but we'll take it because it is what it is. We do love him. If he won as the local player of the year, do I get the $50? Yes, you do. You get all the membership benefits when you're a member if you win it or don't. $100 in cash money for the 125 now. It'll be 135 next week on Friday. So got a week to take advantage of the membership, and we'll go from there. So anyways, we're through that. I got to see what hole 2 is. It's Dancing Rabbit, baby. First major 2025. Oh, you got one too, so I'll drink some of mine. I got Corona going on tonight.
I have a unique Kentucky beverage.
I love it. That would make sense with you for
Absolutely.
sure. We thought for a while this would be Thursday night 9 and wine, but we've not had wine on here for a long time, so that's disappointing.
All right, so
we might have to get back to that. Dancing Rabbit, baby, first major 2025, 105 players in the field. We're excited about that.
Nice.
So it's gonna be a good time for the like 30 of you that signed up in the last 2 days. So we appreciate that.
Hey, it might be 31. It just depends on my personal schedule, but
There we go, Fegley. I love it. I love it. Talk about a great weekend, though, to get things kicked off for 2025. Folds of Honor Friday 4-ball on November 1st.
Mm-hmm.
We're the official Folds of Honor Friday partner for amateur golf, so that'll be fun. So national anthem. We've got some killer trophies. Trophies that you'll want to win for the Folds of Honor Friday 4-ball. They're really awesome. I'm pretty excited about those.
Do you have them yet? Are they in hand?
They're not in hand yet, but I did approve the proof, and they are freaking awesome.
I'm just saying that needs to be like something that you gotta,
I shipped him to Phil. Which might be a problem, actually, because I think Phil's going to NCR, and he may not go back home. So I may have to change the shipping address on that. I'll have to call them tomorrow. Glad we have these songs.
But anyhow.
100%. But Folds of Honor Friday 4-ball, net 4-ball format's going to be fun on Friday. And then 2 days, the Azaleas and the Oaks, 2 great golf courses.
Mm-hmm.
Doing something we haven't done a lot of, which is shotguns for these. And that's just because of the time of year. The time changes on Sunday. And it's a big college football weekend, and we're at a casino with a sports book.
Yeah.
So,
and you also have horse racing going on. It's the Breeders' Cup Saturday too. So it's a lot of fun, interesting things. You've got Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon, Michigan. I'm sure the SEC has some football games, but it is going to be a big football weekend. So
advice for finding Phil.
Advice for finding Phil.
I was like, I don't think he wears his like order taking headphones on the golf course. So
no.
Well, I can tell you, find my tee shot somewhere in the fairway and look backwards about 75 yards, and you'll probably find Phil
on the right rough.
That's right.
Man,
that's terrible.
Man. Shoot,
that's not nice. That's not nice at all. That hurts my heart.
It's only funny because it's true.
We're not wrong. I mean, you're pulling a George Washington. I did cut down my father's cherry tree. Like Phil does hit it 220 and right. It's okay. We still love him. Although I will tell you, I can't tell that story on the live. That's mean. So maybe later. I'll wait till he's at least here to talk about the last time I played a round of golf with Phil. But anyways, hole 3. This one's exciting. We got a special guest tonight. The dean of the APT competition committee, Mr. Joe Smolera.
Dean.
The dean.
Joe
he is here.
Smolera. He
is here for a graduation ceremony. People talk about promotions.
Bender clamped up. He's like, "Wait, what?"
I'm just reading the agenda and realizing that I copied and pasted something wrong here. But this is all about Fegley right now.
Oh.
This isn't about the guest policy, but we can talk about that too. Professor Smolera, I will give the floor to you.
I feel like I should have my camera out and shedding a little tear here.
Can you get the music going in the background or something?
Yeah. Right.
It should have been Dr., not Mr., but we'll accept Mr.
That's right.
First, I would like to welcome all of the APT family and friends to this joyous occasion. Graduations are a time to reflect on our past and enjoy expectations of future success. This graduation in particular brings a tear to my eye. Hold on, get choked up there a second. Graduation to Division I usually requires a maximum of 3.4 tournament index. But for one player in particular, graduation is an exception. He currently carries a 4.3 APT tournament index, but won the recent North American Championship in Division II. He made a request to the competition committee that he graduate to Division I. After due consideration, about 3 seconds, the competition committee unanimously agreed to this request. At this time, we would like to welcome Matthew David Fagley to Division I. Sir, I have a diploma here for you that states, this certifies that on 10/24/2024, Matthew David Fagley has received enough accolades at Division II to graduate to Division I, notwithstanding his high handicap. Such graduation is revocable at the discretion of the competition committee when he sucks enough in Division I. Attested, Joe Smolera. So I'd like to hand this to you.
Thank you, Joe. I'll put it back here.
Frame that. It'll be important someday.
There we go. I flipped my tassel. Now this all started because we're probably going to start to use Joe for other announcements when we've got when we do the promotions for our players. We're trying to make it a little bit fun. So Joe being a professor, decided to bring him in and make sure that he brought his fancy hat and his fancy dress to give us a little bit of flair to these promotions, and make it a little bit fun. I'm looking forward to it. And again, it's one of those things like, kind of in the position that I'm in after what happened at the North American, we got to at least give D1 a shot, and we'll see what happens. And we're going to keep bringing Joe out to give us the promotion lists and things of that nature. So this won't be the last time Joe will be out here giving out diplomas.
Professor Joe.
One other thing, screw the beer and wine, bourbon to you, my good man.
Thank you, sir.
Cheers. All I have to say at this point is, sometimes other tours like to copy what we do. I cannot wait to see who they bring out to be Professor Smolera, because this is going to be awesome to watch.
There's only one. It cannot be duplicated.
It cannot be duplicated. This cannot be duplicated. There is not another Joe Smolera, an actual professor at a recognized university that has pink hair.
I just want to be the mace bearer at these graduation ceremonies.
I think we need the mace. The mace will be a wedge.
That's right.
Hey, there we go.
I got about 12 of those out in the shed. I'll just bring a couple of them in.
Oh gosh.
Oh.
Anyhow,
Congratulations, sir. We're so proud of you.
Congratulations, Fagley. We are proud of you. It also means that I'm no longer giving you strokes when we play.
No. I'll desperately need them though, but oh man. But no, it's going to be good. And like I said, I know we've had some, it's going to be a good time with Professor Joe and his graduations.
Hey,
Yeah.
Now, would you please move all your crap out of the house and no more?
Right.
We're not paying any more of your bills. Get out.
No more bills.
But in all seriousness, we are proud of you leading by example. And that's a cool thing. So we do appreciate it. All kidding
Absolutely.
and jokes aside, Jody and I are proud of you.
Thank you.
We're not gonna shed a tear, I don't think. Maybe Joe might, but anyways, the whole next segment's about the competition committee, which is, I think, really important to talk about. But first, we have a message from our friends at 2 Under, and so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
2 Under. Quality fabrics, no roll waistband, Joey pouch, elevate and separate, no chafing. What more could you ask for?
What more could you ask for, Jody?
That's right.
Well, I mean, I could ask for a few things, but I don't know that it's going to happen.
Moving on to how we flight players. Hole 4. Goodness gracious. I think this is important because this is the time of year. Obviously, we had our North American Championship. I responded to somebody that attacked Fegley. Fegley, your gin was a 4.8 going into the North American Championship.
Yeah.
You put your only two of your 3 rounds were sub 3.5, a 2.2, and a 1.8. Of the 130 some tournament rounds you've played with us, those are your only 2 rounds ever below 3.5.
Yep.
And even after that, you're still not a 3.5. You're like 4.2.
No.
But you still promoted yourself because you're like, hey, I accomplished everything I needed to in D2. Mother lovers, the only thing that I could have done better in D2 last year was pop the champagne a little bit more efficiently.
Yep. But again, never doing it before. Hey, you got to learn on the fly.
Look,
100%.
I know that you've gotten tired of losing head to head against me, and you felt like you just need to go to another division to avoid having that heartbreak again. So I get it. I understand.
Fair enough. Exactly. 100%. 100%.
But anyways, that's not always the case in amateur golf. In fact, it's not the norm to have fair flights.
No.
I mean, we saw a national championship in the last week where, quote unquote, the Division II winner, not using anybody else's terms to throw them on their bus, was a scratch golfer that shot 65 a week before. The Division IV winner was a 9 handicap with us and hadn't played on their tour since June 2nd and played the minimum number of events, finished 22 out of 27 in their local standings and stopped playing when their handicap got right to the line, showed up to the national championship with pretty much a 5-shot advantage on the field. And then the division, quote unquote, Division V winner has a 12-month low of a gin at 13.2 and did the same thing. Didn't play for 3 months, played the minimum number of events to be able to go. And what I want to tell everybody, not to necessarily even criticize the other tour, but it's not like that over here. And this is why we have policies in place and why we have a competition committee and why we go through things. And so I think it's good to have a discussion as that's blowing up on social media to talk about why we do. And I think the first thing to start with, Fegley, is how we flight players. Talk about the difference between somebody's gin and their APT. We'll bring in Smo. Smo's part of the competition committee. He's Professor Dean Smalira.
No, but I guess
he's in the dark.
He's in the dark, right? Yeah. No, but the first thing is when we're initially flighting players, what we look for, we have the first thing is obviously looking at a player's gin, going through their history and figuring out what their 12-month low is. That's going to be the initial placement of a player. Then after that, things will start to hinge on their APT index. And the biggest thing with the APT index is validation. 7 scores gets you validated. At that point in time, APT matters.
I want to go back to it's the 12-month low of gin or the lowest handicap we can find.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We're basically finding this is the best we've seen you play, and we're flighting you based on those scores.
Yep.
To start. And then keep going. I just wanted to point that out there. So if you're out there to be like, oh, I'm going to jack my gin up for a year and I'll be fine. No, we're basically looking for the lowest handicap we can find that shows your potential, and that's where you're going to start. And then through the validation process, the competition committee is active. See, Jody, I'm getting there. The competition committee is active in reviewing scores after 1 round, 3 rounds, 5 rounds through that process.
Yeah, through that process. So as players, begin their process and begin their journey with the APT, we're going to move them quickly. Like if their index does drop below, we're going to move them. We're going to ask them to play 2 rounds in the new division and then do a reevaluation until that 7th round occurs. That 7th round on the APT within the last 18 months is going to be your validation point. That's where players are validated. Then their APT index is their guide as far as what division placement they're in, all those things that come along with it. Like, for the net contest, the senior net, the open net, any of the 4-ball competitions that we have as net, you'll be using that APT index as your guide for what you're and then the other key important thing is what we've talked about and what we've been through tonight on the call is improvement, right? Once you're validated, we want to see you get better. We want to see you improve. After validation, you get that protection of shooting lower scores. You've spent some time on tour. You've demonstrated your ability. At that point in time, we're not going to go back and look to disqualify, look to have problems for you shooting that score. You've shown that you've vested the time. You've demonstrated your ability. And then at that point in time, we want to start seeing some good golf and some good rounds and not punish you for it, because you have spent the time, you've got your membership, and you've played rounds with us. So that's the other important thing about validation.
Yeah, and I think it's important to just let you know we're doing it consistently across the board. Actually, I had this conversation with somebody in St. Louis this week, and he came in and he goes, so this isn't an organization like I need to tell you that I'm a 14 when I'm really a 10, because everybody starts where their skill level is. I said, exactly. That's where it's at. And so it's not one of those things. It's not one of those events that you travel to that it's one of those, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. We're looking at everybody. We're looking at everybody and applying it equally. I think the other thing is talk about the handicap questionnaire, because it's one of those big questions we get, and our players want to know, well, how do you flight people when we don't have a USGA index, or they haven't played another tour and they're coming in off the street? Like, what kind of things are you doing to vet those players? And I think you've come up with a brilliant handicap questionnaire that's really got a lot of good data, and the results have shown this year. And so why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so what we've done is, there's a lot of us and a lot of the chapter owners has helped develop this, is we've gone through and asked all the questions that, what are you talking to players about? What are you looking at? So one of the biggest things that we look at is we talk to players about what tees they play. That is the number one factor when looking at a score, right? Because they're going to have different differentials, different slopes, and it's going to determine what their handicap index. So we ask what tees the players are playing. We ask them what their average is, right? But then we go into critical questions that help determine this, because, again, remember, handicap is based off potential, not average. So we start asking, hey, what's your career low? What's your lowest round in the last couple of years? What do you like to shoot? What makes you happy when you're leaving a golf course? To get to know some of these things and get the understanding of where that player's potential is, and also where they're going to be a good fit. We don't need a guy that's playing the tips, shooting 12 over from the tips, thinking that they should be in Division 4. They're going to be a Division 2, Division 3 player that we're going to have to figure out. Same thing where you got a guy shooting, in the mid-high 70s, but they're playing a golf course that's 5,000 yards. We're going to have to work with them and figure out what tees make the most sense. So that's some of the process that we do. Again, it's looking at the potential of what the player can do, but also then paying attention to the factors of where they're accustomed to playing golf, different types of courses as well.
No, absolutely. Well, let's talk real quick. I know you said obviously validated players are exempt from being DQ'd, which is a great change, suggested by our players brought in.
Yeah.
But let's talk about exceptional scores for unvalidated players. And then we'll also bring in the new guest policy and kind of talk about how that works. So let's touch that briefly.
Yeah. So what we're looking at is, from an exceptional score standpoint, you're looking at what potentially gets a player disqualified, right? And again, these are for unvalidated players, not validated players, right? Unvalidated players, it's looking at how far below the division line did you go, right? 3 strokes is where we start to look, and then also we're looking at the competition of the flight of the division. How was the competition done between those two players? Did they run away with it, or were there other low rounds which lead us to the situation where it could just be a situation of an easier course setup? The course was playing easier that day. So those are the things that are going to get you a new player that we're going to be looking at for a potential, exceptional score and running down the process of disqualification. But for those players that are validated, again, shoot your score. Your index is going to be your index. You've invested the time. So, a little protection on that side of things.
No, absolutely. Well, and I want to bring in Joe a little bit for this. Obviously, the guest policy is brand new, fully going into effect November 1st, where guests can only win their membership playing as a guest. But we went back and forth. Obviously, Nashville, when we had a guest policy that was a little bit different in different chapters, and we kind of left up chapters. Now bringing this kind of Full Scale, anywhere you go, has the same guest policy. You know, it was very much based on the guest policy you guys have run for years in Nashville. But we went back and forth on whether or not a guest can win a trophy. And we decided they could under certain circumstances, but there's much tighter restrictions than even an unvalidated player. So, Joe, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the most a guest can win is their membership. So if your division has a $300 prize, all a guest can win is their $135 membership, can only be used for membership. And the rest of the money will be distributed to the members, whether it's second, third, however many get paid out. So I mean, we've done that in Nashville before, and it's worked out really well. I don't want guests coming in and taking our members' money. They can win the trophy if they shoot within their division. So basically, for a Division II player, it'd be roughly a 75 or 76.
Mhm.
So if a Division II player wins shooting a 77, that means the rest of the field didn't play too well. So be it, they get the trophy. But if they were to come out in Division II and shoot a 71, they're not getting the trophy.
Well, and what do you say to the guest that says, "Well, I'm trying this out, but I want to be able to win all the money"? I mean, what's the response to that?
Join. We're
Yeah,
here.
100
We're here for the members. I
100
love guests. I like guests playing. We have 4 or 5 guests signed up this week or next week.
Right.
I'm here for the members. For somebody that's going to come in and play one tournament a year, I'm not running these tournaments for
Well,
you.
And I think it's important to protect that, because there's something special about when, you know, the work of the competition committee has been getting the fields to be fair, right? And so you have to protect against the variable of somebody coming in and saying, "Oh yeah, here's my gin, I'm a 6." I mean, everybody's been to a member guest where the 11 handicap shoots 73 in the first round. Like, we've all been there. You know what I mean? Like, you don't even have to call out anybody, because it's all, you know what I mean? It's just there. Like, everybody has that example. And so we're trying to avoid that. And that's what it's about. And the answer, obviously, the guests, if you're looking at checking out, is when you become a member, you'll be protected the same way that we're going to protect our members going forward. So we're excited about that. Chris is saying we got to move on, pace of play, Fegley. He said that we're on the clock. Jody's been quiet because we're on the clock. So
Come on, guys, let's go.
I think this is – here's the interesting piece. I put some notes down. I'm curious your guys' thoughts, Jody. Maybe I'll start with you. But we're 2 years into really having full-time competition committee. You know, at the beginning, it was Jody and I running a spreadsheet trying to figure it out, and then Phil came in to help, and then Fegley's like, "I volunteer to do this," and I was like, "You are my spirit animal," because handicaps are not my thing. But I love the work that y'all have put together. I mean, the competition committee, I will defend you guys to the death against anybody that wants to say anything. Like, the data just shows that it's working. Competition is fair across the board. I'm happy to have that conversation with anybody and everybody. Certainly there's hard conversations, because sometimes you got to be like, "Hey man, this is where you need to play." And those are never fun, but we're 2 years into this. And one of the things that I love about it, looking back, kind of reflecting today as we're coming up with this, is our players have given us a lot of ideas of things we've learned and we've implemented. I just want to spend a couple minutes reflecting on that. So, you know, I'll actually let you start, Fegley, since you're the czar.
Fair enough. And as I've joked about on the previous lives, was, you know, a lot of players out there know that some of these rules are informally their rule, right? But we have a lot of things in place, right? One of the things that we have that's not listed on our list here, but we have the flight lock, we have flight protection, you know, the non-validated DQ versus the validated DQ, the rating of the senior tees as well as the ladies tees as it relates to the open flight, our relegation process, and going through the all the different things there, like how many times you're allowed to relegate, how that process does work.
The relegation process, like last night in our handicap meeting, back in the first time.
It's gotten so much better, and it's better for everybody.
We have a moment of silence for that first meeting.
Well, look, and I'll step in here for a minute too. Sometimes,
yeah, go ahead.
Sometimes you can have too many voices, too many cooks in the kitchen, and it makes things bog down and not work as efficiently. This is not one of those times. I mean, obviously, Matt and I came in when we started the APT. We had a set of standards that we wanted to meet for ourselves in this tour, and a lot of that came from our personal experiences, and then some of the other tour directors and whatnot that came in with us that also had ideas. But now as we're going into year 5 of this, and living by the mantra of by the players for the players, we have allowed so many people to get invested and participate in the leadership of this organization. And again, this is not one of those situations where too many cooks makes a bad meal. This has actually made things much, much better. And we've learned so many things from having other people come in and say, hey, hand raise guy, have you thought about X, or have you thought about Y? And, to Matt's credit and mine and others, we're willing to say, no, we haven't, or we did, but we were wrong about that. And we're willing to make a change. And I hope that when we're sitting in 30 years down the road in our 30th season and looking back and seeing all the things that we've done to make things better and better, we can sit there and go, we have truly adapted and adjusted and listened to our players and done everything we could to make the best possible experience for the members that we have. And so that part of it, what I look back on personally as an owner and co-founder with Matt here on this, is we have truly strived to make it better and better year after year after year. And the competition committee is a big part of that.
Oh, 1,000% agree with that. I just want to add to it. It's funny, we put out the alternate logo on social last week, and a bunch of comments like, why the Solo Cup? Why is that coming back for year 5? And I started thinking about it, and to me, it brings back to the original, right? And we'll post that in the next week. The original, absolutely excited. We're announcing a new chapter like every other night and doing different things. Joe's wearing the original shirt. We've got some throwbacks on order, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun 5th year. But for me, it kind of renews the commitment to what started this whole thing in the beginning, and that's the commitment to be by the players for the players, and to continue to grow, continue to listen. It's been a crazy ride over 4 years. Most businesses, I don't know of many businesses that have grown at the scale that we've grown. And so beyond, getting policies and procedures in place and getting staff to even handle just the day-to-day stuff and those challenges of growing, it's the starting year 5 is the commitment to still be where we were on day 1, I think is huge. And people ask, that's what the Solo Cup is. When we get to that with the competition committee, the whole deal. So when you see it around, just understand that's what it means to us. And so we're excited to put it back, and it's a reminder of our commitment of what got us to where we are. And we're just going to pour gasoline on that fire going forward.
There you go. Yep, 100%, Matt. Jody, I everything you guys. I mean, that's it. We gotta move on. Chris says move on.
Hey, 5 years in, we're still absolutely excited. So
absolutely
excited. Well, we got a message from our great friends at Folds of Honor, and then we'll be back. We've got a new chapter to announce. We're going to talk through the digital membership cards, and I'm seeing a bunch of good questions in the Q&A, so we've got a lot left to cover, so stay tuned.
Are desperate for common ground, searching for evidence that our name, the United States, still holds true. The answer comes when we see a soldier in uniform, a first responder risking their life to protect others. On this, we agree. Those who protect our freedom and families deserve our unwavering support. We give it through Folds of Honor. When U.S. service members and first responders are disabled or killed, the Folds of Honor provides their family with life-changing scholarships. The recipients are as diverse as the country we call home. Their common bond, sacrifice. We the people have found what unites us. Join us.
I get excited every time I watch that video.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Just in case people haven't caught up to this, $180,000 donated by APT members over the last 2 years to
Mhm.
Folds of Honor. So Jeff asked the question, how close is this tour to the old Golf Channel Amateur Tour? Not at all.
Yeah, apples and oranges. Really, it really and truly is, and that's somewhat by design. I mean, when you try to move into a space like this and start something new, you can't just do what everybody else is doing. You got to blaze your own path a little bit, and our emphasis is really heavy on the local chapters and trying to make sure that the play that you do at the local level is rewarded and important, and that our local chapter owners are taken care of. And, because that's really where, the saying is, as we're coming up on an election, the saying is all politics is local. Here at the APT, all golf is local, right? And so it's just a different model, a different mindset. And hopefully you feel that and experience that as a player.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this to answer the question. We're going to get transparent. I know that these guys are going to hear that response. I'll probably get a nasty email from them, but that's okay. It wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last. So
just being honest, man.
Yeah, the biggest difference to me is, if you want, I can't talk much about Golf Channel, but from USAM Tour is we're not the tour that runs 39 majors. We're the tour that focuses on providing a professional experience at the local level, week in and week out. And we also have some really killer majors to travel to. Our signature majors are, rewarded in entry to the people that play well on the local tour. Best example of that is Kiowa, which, for some people will be ticked off tonight because it's never going to open to all members because it's sold out with a 20-person waiting list based on people that earn priority exemptions for their play on their local tour. Everything we do starts at the local tour. We care about the quality of the local tour. And then everything flows out of the local tour into our majors and our North American Championship and Senior North American Championship. That's, to me, just the biggest difference. Other big differences are certainly the charitable arm. The generosity of our members is second to none. We've raised a huge heap of money for Folds of Honor, made a huge difference. 180. It's really more like 185,000. We're still tallying some of the local chapter stuff that's coming in to get a final number for this year. But out of that breeds a camaraderie that's unlike anything I've seen on any tour. Jody and I were players. That's the whole by the players for the players thing. I was blessed to be able to play some mini tours. Chris, I know we're pivoting off of hole 7, so I apologize. Whatever.
We're looking for balls.
We're looking for balls in the woods right now, but it's all good. And but one of the things that I loved about playing mini tours was you built such a special bond with the people you play with week in and week out. You see each other on the range. You see each other on the putting green. Everybody's getting to the same goal, and you have some great relationships. And that's a key part of what we're trying to build. And you see that on the local level, but you really see it when you start to travel to different majors and you see the New York guys get with the Virginia Capital guys, and you see the Maryland guys get with the guys from Texas, and you just see the camaraderie and the friendships that happen across the country. It's really, there's nothing like it. That's why I say there's no comparison. I mean, those are the major differences. And just the third thing and the least sexy thing is the work of the competition committee. I mean, I'd be happy to show you the gens of their national champions against the gens of our national champions, and you'll see who cares about fair competition and who doesn't really quick. So, and if they say I'm slamming him, hashtag facts matter.
Well, I'll throw this out there too. We have never discouraged anyone from playing other tours. As players, we always were of the mindset that we wanted to play as much as we possibly could, anywhere we could. And certainly expect our members to do the same, except that, hopefully if you see something you like somewhere else and you bring that idea back to us, then we're going to try to find a way to implement it. And if you go have a bad experience, let us know that too, so that maybe we don't make the same mistakes.
Right.
Because that's what we're here for. We're always listening to the members to try to understand what it is that you guys are looking for, what we can do to make it a better experience, a better membership, more value for the investment that you're making in this. Because let's be honest, it's not cheap doing what we do. We all spend more money than we probably tell our spouses about. So, we want to make sure that you feel like you're getting your money's worth whenever you buy a membership with us. And then when you show up to one of our events, whether that's at the local level or one of the majors that Matt and I are running, that we want you to make sure that you feel special and that you feel like you've actually had a really great experience. So.
Right. And I'm going to ignore Gus's comment for a minute. I think the biggest thing, I mean, that's part of the reason why, though, we do these Thursday night deals is it gives everybody an opportunity to come ask questions. We're here. We're not hiding. We're here to talk about how to make it better, and that's what we're doing. Speaking of making it better, we just shipped back to the fairway the novel membership cards, which Chris posts. New digital membership card. You can scan the QR code to get it. All of our deals are through there this year. All the special deals, $50 Pro Shop credits, easier to spend than ever. It's not a one-time use code anymore. You can use it on shipping. You can use it for tax. You can use it for the whole 9 yards. It's just $50 to spend. We're also going to have great links with our presenting sponsors, Worldwide Golf and Global Golf, who are going to be working on putting some deals together for us. But the biggest is $50 of global cash. Our deal with Avis and Budget, you can save 35% up to 35% off of the pay now rates there. We're going to have special deals right now in the membership card for the members. We have a 3 for $30 of our premium Cabretta Tour gloves. Those are freaking phenomenal. That deal is going to end on October 31st because that deal's too good to run all year. And we're going to continue to run some of those in the membership card. So download, have the digital membership card. It's going to be easy for us to communicate there and keep everything. Nick Krause wants to know bag tags for this year. Yes, sir. There will be some bag tags available. Also, for the 10 of you that have requested, because you want to collect the bag tags from every year, I ordered some 2024 bag tags as well. So if you want to have the collection, we're going to have them all available. So just let me know. I've got an order in there. And Jeff, I'm sorry you played events with Aldo Ricci. We do love him, but I'm just kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke, Christian. Don't get mad at me. Don't text me after this.
I'm super excited about this little membership card because it's going to help everybody out. I know. I mean, Lingenfelter. I mean, he is a little older, but he's probably got young folks in his life that can help him get through it. I mean, come on, Mike. We all know you, brother. But
Mike can go to town on his phone just like anybody else. Just
Mike will be fine. He'll be completely fine.
He can bang it out.
It's just nice because I was messing around with it the other day, and everything's there. We sit there and ask about, you're sitting there at the first tee, and somebody's like, "Oh, I got a vacation. What's that budget code?" And you're like, "Crap, it's somewhere. Let's talk after the round or whatever." Right. So it's just really nice to have everything there. As players start to use the card, and people start asking, just be sure that we're sharing it around and getting everybody all set up and good to go. So,
which, by the way, over 800 people have downloaded it already. So it is working. But reach out, support at aptgolf.org. We are happy to help you. Jersey will send you a video of how to do it.
If you have a flip phone that doesn't have a wallet on it, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
Don't know what to tell you.
In 2024, it's kind of hard to find somebody with a flip phone.
T-Mobile's got some great deals on new contracts with free iPhones, so you'll be fine.
That's right.
But this is important. We got a new chapter to celebrate. This one's going to be good.
Yes.
I'm excited about this. I can't make that joke. I was about to make a joke about a political figure that is from this area. I was just saying I said he might be in China or he might be in Nebraska, but he's actually in Minneapolis. So
I'm keeping it football related, although I don't think he's a Vikings fan, but whatever. The skull chant.
Killing me. But anyways, that is right. We are going to Minneapolis. And so we need to welcome our good friend, Mr. Chris Van Spankeren, who's going to be taking over Minneapolis. I hate that Cubs jersey in the background.
Just for you, sir. Just for you.
I don't know how you got through the interview process with that.
Snuck into the cracks.
That's all right.
You did.
Those of us in the Southeast hate both the Cardinals and the Cubs, so it's fine.
I mean,
Braves
it's
are
warranted. They're both awful.
So,
But
really bad.
my brother, who's running the Minneapolis chapter with me, is a diehard White Sox fan. So that was fun this year, watching them lose 120 games.
Oof. Ouch.
Yeah,
Ouch.
hey, but they won 42.
they did. They did.
Hey, they're tanking for Nashville. They're going to try to move to Nashville.
Maybe when Jerry, sells the team or something.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Oh, it's so bad. But anyways, Minneapolis.
Looks like
we're
the
excited about this. Oh,
Sorry, that one caught me off guard.
Looks like a onesie.
Yeah. That one.
it's pretty funny.
Anyhow.
I should have picked up. I'm the one with the baby. I should have picked up the onesie because that's like all she wears.
It does look like one, doesn't it?
We'll just
Which,
put
by
some
the way,
little
thank you
snaps
to all of
in the
our
bottom.
members. I've got a onesie from the Solheim Cup. I've got a onesie from Augusta National. Like, my baby has more awesome golf clothes than the average APT
Than you do.
member, because 100% more than I do. She has a Turtleson onesie now. Like, she is hooked up. You have no idea. So it's awesome. But anyways, we are excited to expand to Minneapolis. Obviously, your brother Mike has moved to Minneapolis, and you guys are going to do some great things. For those that don't know, Chris has been running Central Illinois, completely blew Central Illinois out of the water this year, which was
Hey,
awesome.
Thanks.
And
We went
I
from
remember
47 to over 100 members this past year, so we're pretty happy about that.
yeah, well, I remember you asked me last year. We're sitting at Crown Point, which is like 2 weeks ago, a year ago.
Yeah.
And you were like, my brother's moved to Minneapolis. When you do a chapter, and I just kind of like jokingly said, I was like, "Well, kill it in Central Illinois, and then we'll talk." And then all of a sudden, Central Illinois has 100 members, and he's like, "So about Minneapolis?" And I'm like, "Okay,
All right, then.
let's talk."
And here we are. Yep.
So tell us a little bit about Minneapolis. We're excited about that. We'll have that up on the website. APT coming up there. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, we're super excited about it. Doing some research up there. There's like something crazy, like over 80 golf courses in a 20-mile radius. So we're it's the land of lakes, or land of 1,000 lakes, or whatever their motto is. It seems like a land of 100 golf courses. So yeah, we're really excited. We've got a list of places that we want to go to. Anyone who's up there might know Edinburgh. Maybe even in a couple of years we can maybe even think about going to Hazeltine or something like that. We've looked into that, but we'll tap the brakes a little bit on that and kind of get our feet wet with some of the municipal courses first.
No, absolutely. There's some great spots in Minneapolis. It's a great time for golf. Shorter season, obviously. It stays cold up there longer than most of the rest of the country. I've been up in Minneapolis. I think I've been there twice. Once was in January, and it was not fun. I'm not going to lie.
Less than ideal.
Less than ideal.
Ideal.
You're not sneaking
Bad
in a winter,
business
you're not
decision.
sneaking in a winter event in January
No.
in Minneapolis.
Yeah, Minnesota, though, is one of those states, kind of like Wisconsin, or maybe even Michigan, where the season's short, but man, what a like you said, you touched on it right off the bat, a super tight collection of tons of really good golf courses. Of course, outside of the city centers, there's not a whole lot of population, so which explains why the golf courses are kind of in a tight wad too, because they got to go where the people are. And man, you guys are not going to have to travel far. Anybody that lives inside that 100-mile radius of the city, they're going to have all the options they want for putting a great schedule together.
100%. And a lot of the things I'm noticing is that Minnesotans, however you want to term that, they're very outdoorsy people. So they want to go fishing, hunting, golfing. So we're really excited to just get our name out there and bring the excitement.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Obviously, traveling down, people from the Iowa chapter can drive straight up to get to some of your events, continuing to tie the tour together. Another great market. You guys are going to do great, bringing the same experience in Central Illinois and around the country up to Minneapolis. So we couldn't be more excited to have you guys on board.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Appreciate it.
Anything else?
It's just like watching a spider weave a web, right? We've got this web that we built, and but we're continuing to put little strings attached here and there, and so it's really kind of bringing everything together. Minnesota was a gap that we had. It's going to tie Iowa in, give them options, and again, there's more to come as Matt and I continue to get absolutely excited to make more and more announcements about new territories that we're going into. But Minnesota's one that's always been on our list. It's kind of like Denver. Last year, it was kind of my number one priority to get Denver and find the right people there.
And how good are the Holberts doing, by the way?
They're doing fantastic. They're knocking out of the park. And that's the thing. Anytime we get to bring the APT to an area where we know there's a target-rich environment of guys, like you say, that love being outside, they love athletics, they're sporting people, and we give them an opportunity to get involved in our competition and experience that, we know it's going to go over well and that it's going to be very, very successful there.
Yeah. Well, Minneapolis has been on our list, Jody, for a long time. We're excited.
Sure.
It's going to be good. A lot of great golf. People want to know how long the season. It's like mid-April to the end of probably early October.
It'll most likely be. I think our first event's going to be the first weekend of May, and then probably go until last weekend of August or first week of September or something like that.
Not too terribly different than Chicago or anywhere up in that area. It's going to be kind of the same type of season.
Yeah,
right.
But the good news is, if you're in Minnesota and you're watching this and you're excited about joining the APT, when it starts snowing up there, you can jump on a plane and go just anywhere you want to with the 365 coast to coast membership. You can play anywhere, anytime. Being a member of the APT gets you that access. So you don't have to sit around and wait until May. If you want to go get some tune-up golf in Arizona or Florida, come down to Alabama, wherever you want to go, we'll have a spot for you.
No, absolutely. Well, Chris, I appreciate you coming on, making an executive decision. Hole 9 is going to turn into Q&A tonight since we're behind. It is what it is. We'll tie in the topics. Man, Chris got rid of Van Spankering quick. I don't know what he did to make it nice. Like, see you later. Go to Minneapolis and start working. So, jeez. I was gonna leave him on camera. He can answer some of these questions, but
Too funny.
He's back.
I just
want
want
to face. It was just your neck. I was like, well, that's interesting.
I just want to have the first request in that if and when it ever happens that we have our major in Minnesota, that we're gonna have to incorporate the Friday fish fry with the Friday. But that's that's it.
You can do the fish fry to raise money for Folds of Honor. It's just a win everywhere.
I mean, that's generally what happens too. So there we go. It's all encompassed. But
I would imagine Lieutenant Colonel Rooney would show up for that. I think he'd think that was awesome. Even if you're doing a fish fry for Folds of Honor, it's like the Folds of Honor Friday fish fry. Like, let's just get as many F's into a sentence as possible.
Fantastic
raise
Friday.
money.
Fantastic Friday Folds of Honor fish fry.
Fantastic fish fry.
Bring in all the F's.
So there we go.
It's effing awesome.
Anyways, we had some questions. Couple things. First, 2025 North American Championship, Senior North American Championship is in Orlando, Florida. We will have course announcements relatively soon because Jody sent me the contract. I'm just slow on reviewing it. So, but we do know where it's going to be. I just haven't signed it yet, guys. So that's my fault. Maybe next Friday. You never know. If we get it done this week, we'll have some of that to talk about, but we're excited about that. It's going to be great. Steve Daniels is asking about the gloves. Steve, call us. We will get you hooked up, but we will have to have some shipped to you. Get a hold of us. We'll let you know what's going on with the cadet smalls and the smalls. So, few inventory. It's in September, Jeff. September
19th
through the 21st and 23rd and 24th, I think.
I think that is correct, sir.
Off the top of my head. People are asking about the Red Rock Championship. That'll get posted this week. I've been dealing with some family stuff, and so that's next to go up on the schedule. Red Rock will open for registration November 1st, as well as the APT Lone Star Shootout and the APT Cloudland Challenge at Macklemore, which I'm super excited. 3 great venues in March and early April. So we will have the pricing out there. I will confirm that and get it out there. I don't have it off the top of my head. So that's all I'm going to say about that, I guess, because I don't have anything good. By the way, next priority major, signature major, will open November 15th.
15th.
Yeah, which is going to be Torrey Pines. If you want to go there and get the invite, you need to be signed up for membership beforehand, because if you're not an active member, you won't get the invite.
Yes, and that's something I think that we've learned this week. Actually, last night we had a discussion about some folks that were hoping to get into the Kiowa event, and they had not renewed their membership yet, and so they didn't get their invitation. So again, there's incentive for you to go ahead and renew, not only to get the discounted pricing, but to make sure that you're getting these invitations that are going out in order to get priority status to get in to some of these majors that we know that have limited fields are definitely going to sell out. Kiowa obviously is gone quick. Torrey's going to be the same way. It's going to fill up as in a matter of hours, maybe. I think we sold Kiowa out in 2 days?
2 days.
It lasted, the second round of invites, it lasted for about an hour and 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And for 40 of those minutes, I was eating dinner and not paying attention to the registration. So it was probably more like a half hour, because there was 11 people on the waiting list when I went to clear the last person in the field. So,
yeah.
So how's the finish up, Jody, and then I got something.
No, I was just going to say, so once again, make sure that you go ahead, renew your membership, so to make sure that the system is sending you these invitations and you're getting your opportunity to jump into these events, especially if you are looking at one of these majors and you've got it circled as this is the one major I want to go to. Don't miss your opportunity by waiting too late to sign up for your annual membership.
right.
And I know Red Rock's coming out on the 1st. That's going to be another one. How's the invitation? Is it the same thing? Is it the invite list, or is it
Red Rock? Red Rock is open season, baby. The only thing I will tell you is book your flights early. And when you're planning on going to these majors, don't make the mistake of people thinking that if you wait 6 months to book your flights, it will get cheaper. It will not. So,
flights to Vegas are pretty steady. I mean, they're pretty much going to be the same no matter what.
Flight, like supply and demand.
And that actually weekend, it's actually going to get more expensive the longer you wait. For that weekend, that time of year, flying in and out of Vegas, if that's where you're flying to, you probably need to go ahead and book it as soon as possible.
Yep. And with the way the airlines are working now too, if you book your flight and the flight gets cheaper, you can just rebook it and you'll get the credit back. You won't get money back, but you'll get a credit. It's, so just get it done. Get the travel plans done early, because there's nothing worse than forgetting about it and then realizing that you got a $700 flight to go somewhere.
Right. And Red Rock does not suck. Just letting you know, was there last year. Yes, Red Rock is the one in Utah. It should be called Red Rock, Black Rock, and Snowy Rock. All three. Tell Dennis, we're renaming it. We're calling it the Red Rock, Black Rock, and Snowy Rock Championship.
And it could be Wind Rock. It could be all sorts of things.
Could be Wind Rock. Probably not in April,
though. Well, the wind might be there. Hopefully it won't be raining.
Last year when we did it in March, it was Hail Rock.
Yeah.
I remember playing hole 17 and it was hail.
The first year I went out there, we got snowed on.
Oh,
that's right.
We moved it later. The
What
average temperatures
was
were
that
way
golf
higher.
course? Coral Canyon.
Coral Canyon, we got snowed on. Yeah.
And you could see it. You could see it coming over the mountain. Like it started out great day. It was fine. You had a sweatshirt on or something, but you could see it coming over the mountain. And once it capped the mountain, man, it just kind of fell in there. We were rushing to get done as quick as we could.
Nice. That's always fun. So, anyways, well, next Thursday night, there's not a Thursday night 9. It's Friday night 9.
Mel has a question about a possible Friday at Kiowa.
All I know is Jody and I are playing at Kiowa, so if you want in our group and you want to gamble, we're in.
There is a possibility of a Friday 4-ball. It won't. It probably won't be at one of the Kiowa courses, but we're working on that.
We are working on that. It'll be fun.
That is correct.
So cool. Well, just so you know, once again, no Thursday night 9 next week. It's Halloween, so do whatever you do on Halloween.
Are we going to dress up?
I'll be a dancing rabbit, so I have a.
No
I will
excuses.
wear a costume.
No excuses.
If you wear a costume, I'll wear a costume, but I get to pick both of them.
I'm down.
Are you sure? Because I've got a good one. We can't talk about it on here, but Friday night, live from Dancing Rabbits. If you're at Dancing Rabbit, you'll get to hang out with us. We've got some big announcements. It's going to be a big day in the history of the APT on next Friday, so it'll be fun. So tune in for that. We've got some new chapters. We've got some good things going on. Aldo Ritchie wants to know what the baby's going to be. I'm just not going to answer that. You'll just have to wait and see on Instagram. My wife will post it because I'll be on the road, so I'm not sure what she'll be, but it's going to be something good, I am sure. There's plenty of Amazon packages showing up at my house every day, so I'm pretty sure she bought like 5 different costumes. So there it is.
Hey, is it okay if my costume includes flip-flops and an adult beverage?
That was going to be what I was going to wear.
I knew exactly where you were going.
One of us has got to be the director of the year in that picture.
Oh, I can do that.
I'll do it if you do it.
We
Straight
can
up,
make that happen.
I'm so in.
Oh, we can make that happen.
Oh, that's too funny.
And we should
Anyways.
also do an election night 9.
Yeah, join us on election night. We'll just talk golf. The
Yeah,
entire
great.
time.
Get away from the election results and just
Yeah.
come hang out with us.
Just come hang out with
Yeah.
us. The only political jokes we'll make is about Bat Fegley being the handicap czar and how much more effective he is than every other czar.
Fair enough.
But anyways, until Friday night, next Friday night, 7 p.m. Central, I think. I'll let you know the time. We'll put it on social. It'll probably be 7 o'clock, though. That makes sense for Dancing Rabbit. Might be a little earlier. But, yeah. For that, we got a message from friends at Global Golf, but thanks for tuning in tonight, and we'll see you guys next Friday from Dancing Rabbit, the first major of the 2025 season.
Shop Global Golf for gear and recommendations that are all about you. With You Try, You Select, and You Trade In, Global Golf's comprehensive suite of services feature the widest variety of new and pre-owned products, PGA professional backed insight, and unbeatable value to help you play your best. So visit Global Golf today